The Edict of Worms. The Edict of Worms is actually a city. The Worms is a city in the Holy Roman Empire. So it's not what you think it is. It ain't the city of worms, even though that would be pretty cool if it was a city that they just had a lot of worms, and that's why they called it that. But that particular edict, an edict is what we it's whenever somebody that's in charge dictates something that this is what's going to happen. This is law. It made Luther an outlaw in the empire. What that means is that like it was not, he was in hiding. His books that he had written and stuff like that over the 95 Theses, because he wrote a thesis and then he wrote 95 theses and then he wrote books over each one of them. So they were all burned. Every one of them that could be found was burned. And Luther, according to the Edict of Worms, was to be delivered to the emperor, Charles V. Luther's local ruler said, not happening. Because he had secretly converted to Protestantism at that point. And what happened is that ruler actually hid him out in the attic of a barn, the top part of a barn, where Luther started to actually transliterate the Bible into German, where people who were common people could actually read it. Remember, there's a difference between transliterate and translate. Transliterate means that they read something for what it means, not necessarily for word, because translation directly from Latin to Germany is not going to make sense in a lot of cases. So just think about like this: whenever you're speaking Spanish or you're speaking English, they're similar, but some words in English don't mean the same thing in Spanish, and so on and so forth. Sometimes there's not a word at all for whatever you're talking about in English or in Spanish for the other language. So Luther's religious movement soon became a revolution. It spread throughout all of the Holy Roman Empire, and eventually it's going to spread throughout the entire world. It gained support from many German rulers who took control of Catholic churches and formed state churches supervised by the government of whatever the little noble that was over that area. And so Luther, he set up new services, basically mass or mass light, featuring Bible readings, preaching, and the Word of God, and song. His doctrine became known as Lutheranism, and it was the first Protestant faith. So in all seriousness, if we really want to get down to brass tacks, there's not really a whole heck of a lot of difference between Catholicism and Lutheranism, but there are enough differences that it makes it made the Catholic Church mad. And I mean, some of the things that should have probably been fixed a long time ago, they were addressed in the Protestant Reformation. And so don't think that the Catholics didn't go back and fix some of the things that they they did have some issues at this point. They did go back and fix a lot of them. We'll talk about it in some later videos, but basically this is the beginning of Protestantism.